Welcome to the channel. My name is Matthias. Today we're back with Brian Klass's book, Corruptible. It's a fascinating read, and without further ado, let's just get into the main subject. So the author starts talking about how hunter-gatherer societies were organized in bands, that on a political level they were incredibly flat and egalitarian. Bands are kinship-based and might have between 10 to 50 individuals. But as time passed, and I guess more access to certain resources, these bands grew, and many of them evolved into tribes. That tribes are composed of many bands. And I have to say that these bands are politically integrated. They share a same language. They start to share a common culture, a common religion or belief system. There is a growing sophistication, and tribes later on evolve into chiefdoms. Now, due to the amount of people and the complexities of this society, egalitarianism is pretty much out the window. Here we start having social hierarchies. This already happened in the tribe stage, but here things are less fluid, everything's more rigid. And we start having formal positions of power, in this case, the chief. But here we have the very early stages of a proto-state. Also at the same time, bands, tribes, chiefdoms start encountering other human groups. And there's always a possibility of conflict when one encounters another group. So these early human societies learn pretty quick that one can find strength in numbers. One innovation that was a game changer in these relationships between human groups is the incorporation and use of long-range weapons. But the main idea that the author is going for is the larger the group, the harder to maintain an egalitarian society. Bands did not stand a chance when they had to deal with tribes or chiefdoms, not only because obviously they had bigger numbers, but also because they were very organized. They had someone on top that coordinated their efforts. And many of the generals of these early conflicts started to develop a thirst for power, and this put them on the path to possibly become chiefs of the respective societies. So the author explains that this shift within these early societies was fueled by war, but also food. It was a very big deal, the agricultural revolution. It was a tectonic shift for all of humanity when they reached that point. And this had an extremely large impact on how social hierarchies would develop from that point on. So this new era where we would have people claiming rights over land. And in this era, for the first time, some individuals were able to have an excess of resources. They had a surplus. This fueled inequality because obviously the people that had these surpluses had the best land. Also, a dependable access of food led to a demographic explosion and a profound need to organize large people groups. So these three main concepts became fundamental to these early societies: surpluses, hierarchy, and the need of control. And this need for control that did not exist in early hunter-gatherer societies because they did not live sedentary lives. They didn't try to claim the land that they lived on. Now individuals felt more incentive to procure more land, to increase their productive capacity. And when one would try to push for new lands and encounter other people groups, or you would push them out, you would annihilate them, or you would try to assimilate them. Also, as a tangent, while these first agricultural societies became more sophisticated, the need for registering production and the need for certain resources led to the birth of the first writing systems. And this, way further down the line, is going to evolve to the accumulation of knowledge. So this growth of population was fueled by war, agriculture, and geography. So the author mentions that even though social hierarchies can be very detrimental to many societies, it also set the stage for the birth of the first civilizations. Only humans can coordinate and cooperate on such a large scale. That also provokes a certain level of competition within the group, and if it's well regulated, this will actually push innovation within that society too.